Hello friends, this is Shagnik and welcome back to Placement Wala, your one-stop destination for placement preparation. I hope you are all doing extremely well. So guys, as you know, Cognizant has announced its off-campus hiring opportunity where it is hiring for three roles, Gen Z Next, Gen Z Pro and Gen Z. So our channel is dedicated towards your preparation and hence we have brought up a revision video for you to prepare your logical reasoning and quantitative ability in this video. And we have also planned to publish other videos like a dedicated video for the game-based aptitude that comes in Cognizant. Next for the verbal ability section that would be under your second round examination along with your game-based aptitude, logical reasoning and quantitative aptitude questions. Other than that, we will also be making a separate video for your round one, that is the communication round. So a dedicated video would also be published for that. So stay tuned with us, subscribe the channel so that you don't miss out any updates. So without any further delay, let's move on to the questions directly. So guys, this is your question one. Try to solve it by yourselves first, then we will be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourself. So let's see what the question says. So the question says if this given equation is equal to 3 to the power m into n, where m and n are positive integers, what is the value of m? Okay, we need to find the value of m. Now, if you could see this particular thing, it is nothing but the multiplication of your natural numbers, that is starting from 1 till 15. And we have to represent this particular thing as a multiplication of power of 3 into n. So this n can be anything other than 3. So this is anything other than multiple of 3, multiple of 3. So this particular term in the equation, that is 3 to the power m, would have all terms with 3. So any multiple of 3 that we have in this particular side would be represented by 3 to the power m. Hence, if we can find any multiple of 3, any multiple of 3 in this particular portion, then we can easily find the power of 3 required for representing the representing this particular thing in this form, right? Now, if you see carefully, so the terms of 3 or the multiples of 3 present within this term are, first you would have 3, which is 3 into 1, then 6, which is 3 into 2, then you have 9, that is 3 into 3, next you have 12, that is 3 into 4, next is 15, which is 3 into 5. So the number of 3's present in this multiplication is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this multiplication has 3 multiples of 3. This entire multiplication, this portion I am talking about, has total of 6 multiples of 3, that is 3 into 3 into 3 up till 6th term. That means this particular thing can be represented as 3 to the power 6. Now, if we compare it with this 3 to the power m, if this is equal to 3 to the power m, in that case, we can easily say that m is equal to 6. Hence, our correct answer becomes option A, that is 6. I hope I was clear. It is a pretty easy question. Just a bit of logic was required. So let's move on to the next question. So this question is from percentage. Here the question says in a school, 65% of the students are less than 20 years of age. Okay, less than 20 years of age is 65%. Next, the number of students more than 20 years of age, more than 20 years of age is two-thirds of the number of students of 20 years age. Okay, so the number of students greater than 20 years age is two-thirds of the number of students who are of age 20. Okay, and here they have said that the number of students with age 20 is 42. What is the total number of students in the school? Okay, so we would be dividing the students in three categories, that is less than 20 years of age, equal to 20 years of age and greater than 20 years of age. Okay. So here they said if the total number of students is T, so this less than 20 years of age students would be 65% of the total students. For equal to 20 years of students, they have said the count is 42 and students greater than 20 years of age is two-thirds of 42 because they have said that the number of students greater than 20 years of age is two-thirds of the number of students equals to 20 years of age. So that would be equal to 14 threes are 42, 14 twos are 28. That would be 28. Now, guys, if you see this carefully, we can divide it into two parts. If this particular part is 65%, then this entire part that is equal and greater than equal of 20 years age would be definitely equal to 35% of the total amount of the total students. I hope I was clear. So in that case, we can write total into 35% equal to number of students of 20 years age, that is 42, plus number of students greater than 20 years age, that is 28. So from here we can write 70 into 100 because 35% if we write it in fraction terms, then 35 by 100. So if we cross multiply, it would be 70 into 100 by 35. Now if we cancel it, it would be 2 and that would give us 200 as the total number of students. So our correct option becomes option B. I hope I was pretty clear. So let's move on to the next question. Try to solve it by yourself first. Then we will be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourself. Let's see how to solve it. So they say 16 men can finish a piece of work in 49 days. Okay. And 14 men started working and they could finish certain amount of work in 8 days. Okay. How many more men should be added to complete the work in 24 days? Okay. So at first, let's calculate the total man days or total work that can be done by 16 men in 49 days. So that would be equal to 16 into 49. This is the total work. Now that would be equal to, they say 14 men started working and they could finish certain amount of work in 8 days. So 14 men would be working for 8 days to complete this much of work, and the remaining work would be done by 14 plus some X amount of extra men into 24 days, because they have said that the total number of extra days that would be required is 24. Now, if we calculate this, so we can take help of the calculator in this case, because that would let us solve the question faster than doing it manually. So 49 into 16, that is 784. That is equal to 14 into 8, 112, plus leave it as it is, so that we can cancel it out later. Now that can be written as 14 plus x is equal to 784 minus 112. So that would be 2 and 7 and 6 divided by 24. Now if we calculate it by 12, 2s are 24 and 12 5s are 6, 12 6 are 72, and that would be equal to your 28, right? So x would be equal to 28 minus 14, that is equal to 14. So the extra number of men required is 14. So your option C becomes the correct answer. I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so this is a question from the probability section. Try to solve it by yourself first, then we will be solving it together. So I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourself. So let's see. A bag contains 4 red balls, 6 blue balls, and 8 white balls. One ball is drawn at random and replaced with 3 white balls. Okay, we are replacing with 3 white balls. A probability that the first ball drawn was either red or blue in color, and the second ball drawn was white in color. Okay, so the first ball drawn would be either red or blue. Okay, and the second ball drawn would be white. We have to find this probability. Now you see, for the first ball, the number of favorable outcomes is equal to the addition of the red balls and blue balls, that is 10, and the total number of present at the first instance is 10 plus 8, that is 18. So the probability of getting red or blue ball in the first chance or the first draw would be equal to 10 by 18. For the second draw, we need to find the probability of getting a white. So you see, the white ball, after one draw, three balls or three white balls would be added. So the total number of white balls would become 11 in that case. And also, the total number of red and blue balls were 10. From that, either of the balls would be taken out. So the remaining number of balls would now become 9. I hope I was able to make you understand up to this. So in that case, the number of favorable outcome for us become 11 and that of number of total outcomes become 20. Because you see, total number of red and blue balls is 9 and total number of white balls 11. If we add it, it becomes 20 and that of favorable outcomes, that is number of white balls, become 11. So 11 by 20. And you see, here they have used and you know in probability or means plus, in probability or means plus, and and means multiplication. Okay, so in that case, the first and second probabilities would be multiplied to get the final probability. So if we multiply it, we'll get 10 and 20 would be cancelled out, and the final probability would be 11 by 36. I hope I was clear. So our correct answer would be option D. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from the ratio and proportions. They say a dishonest milkman professes to sell his milk at a cost price, but he mixes it with water and thereby gains 25%. The percentage of water in the mixture is, okay. So let's say the cost price is equal to 100. So to gain 25%, the selling price must have been 125. But they say that he is selling at 100 itself. He is selling at 100 itself. Okay. So after that also, after selling that also at 100, he is gaining 25%. But how would it occur? Because he is mixing some amount of water, so the amount of water is taken to be zero, and whatever milk is present at 100 rupees is not the actual milk but a mixture of water and milk, and water is zero cost and the milk is only costing him money, hence the amount of water he mixes is equal to the profit he gains. So from this you see, selling price should have been 125 but he is selling at 100. That means this extra 25 must be the amount of water, must give us the amount of water, and the total amount becomes total amount within which it is water is 125. So if we cancel it out, it becomes 25 by 125, that is 1 by 5. And if we want to get the percentage, get it in percentage terms, we have to multiply it with 100 to get 20% as our answer. I hope that was clear. It was a bit tricky question. You need to understand how the logic works. So if you are having any confusion about the logic of this question, please rewind the video, try to check it once more, and then I hope that would be clear. Even if you have after that any doubt, then please connect with us through the comment section. I would definitely help you out in understanding this particular question. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so this is a question from the interest section. I would like all of you to try it first, then we will be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourself. So let's see what the question says. A sum of rupees 20,000 or $20,000 is invested for 2 years. One part is invested at 4% per annum simple interest, okay, and the other part is invested at 6% per annum compound interest compounded annually. If the total interest earned from both the investment is 1960, how much amount was invested in simple interest? Okay, so the amount invested in simple interest, let it be X. So the amount invested in compound interest would be 20,000 minus X. Now we can calculate the simple interest as the principal amount into interest per annum into number of terms, that is 2. So that would be equal to 0.08x. Next, we need to find the compound interest. So compound interest can be calculated as the principal amount minus x into 1 plus 6 by 100, that whole square, and minus of the principal amount, 20,000 minus x. So if we calculate it, you can take help of the calculator, and if we calculate it further, we would get it as 20,000 minus x into, if we calculate it, we'll get mm, 0.1236 into 0.1236, sorry, 0.1236. That would be the compound interest earned. And they say that total of the simple interest plus compound interest would be equal to 1960. So we can calculate it 0.08x plus 20,000 minus x into 0.1236. So if we calculate it, we'll have 0.08 minus 0.1236. That would be equal to 1960. So let me first calculate this 20,000 into 0.1236. 2472 minus of 0.08 minus 0.1236, 0.0436 equal to 1960 x. Now if we calculate it, x would have a value of nearly 11743 So 11743, option D is your correct answer. I hope that was clear. It was a bit lengthy question, but the thing is, you can get these types of questions are very real, very rare. Most of your questions would be easily cancelable, but a few would be there which would be of this kind, which would take a bit of time to cancel out. I hope that was clear. And let's move on to the next question. Try to do it by yourself first, then we'll be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourself. Next, let's do it together. Solve for x. The equation given is 2x plus 3 to the power x plus 3 equal to 7 to the power x plus 2. Now we can write it like uh, 2 to the power x into 2 to the power 3 equal to 7 to the power x into 7 to the power 2. We'll break it down. Now we can use ln on both the sides. So we would have ln of 2 to the power x into 8 equal to ln of 7 to the power x into 49. Now if we simplify it further, you know that ln a into b Let me write down the formula. Ln A into B is equal to ln A plus ln B, and another formula you need to know is ln A minus ln B. Ln this would be minus ln B would be equal to ln of A by B. I hope that is clear. So we would be using these two formulas to be used here. X into ln 2 is sorry plus ln 8 is equal to x into ln 7 plus ln 49. As you know, this power can be taken out when we are using ln or log over it. Okay. So now if we simplify it, we'll have x into ln 2 minus ln 7 is equal to ln 49 minus ln 8. So if we simplify it further, we'll have x equal to ln 49 by 8 divided by ln 2 by 7. So that is our final answer. I hope it was clear. So our correct answer becomes option C. So this question required the knowledge of logarithms. If you don't know logarithm or this particular formula, it is impossible to solve this particular question. I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from the profit and loss section. You see, a dealer sold an article at a loss of 2.5%. Had he sold it for rupees 100 more, he would have gained 7.5%. To gain 12.5%, he should sell it for. So final selling price they are asking us. So let's say the cost price is 100. In that case, the selling price after having a 2.5% loss would be 97.5. And to gain a profit of 7.5%, we need to uh, sell the article at 107.5 because the cost price is 100. A profit of 7.5% would result in selling price of 107.5. So if you see this gap, the gap from between the two selling price is about 10 rupees. Again, they say the actual gap is 100, but we are getting gap of 10 because we assume the cost price to be 100. Now we will use unitary method to find the unit value or value of every unit of our assumed value. So if we cancel it out, that would be 10. So every unit of our assumed value is 10 times more than what we have assumed. So the actual cost price becomes 100 into 10, which is equal to 1000. And to gain a profit of 12.5%, we need to find the selling price when we have a profit of 12.5% over the given cost price or the actual cost price. So 1000 into 12.5%. So if we cancel it out, it would be one one wait 12.5% gain. Okay, that would be 1 plus 12.5%. 1 plus 12.5%. So those two zeros would be cancelled. 10 into that would be 100 plus 1 2.5. So that would be equal to 1125. So this is our final answer. 1125 is the required selling price that we need to sell the article at. So option C becomes your correct option. I hope that was clear. It was a pretty easy question. Only catch here was to take your cost price as 100, because if you go on for doing something else or doing it in the actual method or the traditional method, in that case you would go on wasting a lot of time, which is of no use. I hope that was clear. So after this, we will be moving on to the logical section. We have already done the quantitative aptitude part. Now we would be solving the logical reasoning questions from here on. So this is your first question. Try to solve it by yourselves first, then we will be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourselves. Let's solve it together now. So you see there are two diagrams. So actually this is not an entire pattern. This is actually two patterns that are being used here. Okay. So this is your reference pattern. This is your reference pattern, and this is the pattern that we need to find. Okay. So for this pattern, you see there are two uh, this particular thing has transformed to this. So if you look carefully, this is actually two semicircles joined together in a reverse direction. These are two semicircles. Now, if we reverse it, then this would cause something like this, and if we join them further, it would result in a circle. Similarly, if we take this particular analogy and apply it to this particular diagram that we need to find, we'll have it like we have this particular thing uh, that looks like a cross, but if you check carefully, it is actually two angles or two arrows that are reversed in opposite direction. Now, if we reverse their direction, they would look something like this. This kind of diagram would be made, and if we join them together, it would result in the formation of a kite or rhombus like kite-like structure. So our correct option becomes option A. I hope I was able to make you all understand the logic. So let's move on to the next question. So it is a question from the blood relation. Here they say introducing Resma to a guest, a lady, to a guest, the guest was a lady. Karishma said, she is the daughter of my father-in-laws. Okay, so for these kinds of question, what you need to do, you need to search for the word mine so that you get a reference from the point of view of the person who is saying that. Okay, so here Karishma is saying, so for Karishma, we would be trying to solve it first. So Karishma, most probably it is a female character. So Karishma's father-in-law, my father-in-law. So Karishma is uh, married to someone. Karishma is married to someone. He has a father. So let me mark it as father. Karishma's father-in-law's daughter. Okay, father-in-law's daughter. That means the sibling of Karishma's husband. She is the daughter of my father-in-law's daughter. Okay, so this is father-in-law's daughter, and father-in-law's daughter's daughter is whom she is talking about. And she is talking about whom? Reshma. So Reshma is Karishma's father-in-law's daughter's daughter. Then how is Reshma related to Karishma? So Reshma is related to Karishma as, but it would be sister, sorry, niece, because as you know, brothers or sisters, daughter or child are either nephew or niece. Okay, so for Karishma, as Reshma is her husband's niece, that means she would for Karishma also she would be the niece, right? She would be the niece of Karishma also. So option A, niece is the correct answer. I hope that is clear. So the ultimate logic here is that for the husband and wife, the relation of niece or nephew would be same. If my husband has some niece or nephew, so the wife will also have the same person as the niece or nephew. There is no like in-law niece or in-law nephew. I hope that is clear. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so this is a question from the uh, coding decoding section. Try to solve it by yourself first, then we will be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourselves. So let's see what the logic is. So surround is written as this. So let us write it. Surround, SURROUND. Surround is written as RRUSDNUO. So guys, if you look carefully, this particular is divided into four letter clusters, where the four letter cluster is transforming like the last letter is coming to first, second last to second, and then second to second last, and first comes to last. I hope this is clear. Here also you see D is from last to D, D is coming to the first position. Then from second last, N is coming to second position. From second to second last, and then from first to last, O is coming. I hope that logic is clear that how the coding is going on. So now we have to find the code for mitigate. Mitigate. So we would be dividing it into a four letter cluster, and then we would be doing the particular interchange. So I would come at first, then T, then I, then M, and for the second part, E, then T, then A, and G. So our correct answer becomes ITIM, ITIM, ETAG. Yeah, option D is the correct option. I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from the statement and conclusion. So let's see what the statements are. All organizers are participants. Okay. So let's make a circle for organizers, and they say that all organizers are participants. So they would come inside the participant circle. Okay. Some organizers are managers. Okay. So let us make a circle like this of managers. So some of them are also organizers. Okay. Then this is done, and the last statement, all managers are females. Okay. So all of them, all the managers are females. So female circle would engulf the manager circle. I hope that was clear. Now we would be testing the conclusions. So for the conclusion one, some participants are managers. Okay. Some participants who are organizers are managers, this particular section. So our conclusion one becomes correct. Next, some females are participants. Okay. So some females who are organizers, some females who are managers and are also organizers are participants, this particular circle. So that is also correct. Option 2 is correct. Or conclusion 2 is also correct. No female is an organizer. No, that is incorrect because this particular section is of organizers. That means some females who are managers, who are organizers are some females, or in another way I can say that some organizers or some managers who are organizers would definitely be female because all managers are female. So our option or conclusion 3 becomes wrong. Next, all participants are females. No, there is no definite rule that all participants are females, because you see there is much empty space in the participant circle which is not female. So we can't definitely tell that whether it is female or not. Yes, there may be a possibility that all are females, but we can't definitely say that. So our conclusion 4 also becomes wrong. So only 1 and 2 follows. Option C is the correct option. I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from the sitting arrangement part. Okay. So here they say 6 students P, Q, R, S, T and U are standing in a queue at a ticket counter. Okay. So they are standing in a queue. Let me write P, Q, R, S, T, 4, 5, 6. So Q is between U and P. Okay. Q is between U and P. We would be writing the logic all this side. Okay. Next, U and P. S is just before T. So this one just before T. So S would be forward. So let me write, this is forward and this is the back side of the queue. So this is the starting of the queue. So S is forward to T, right? S is just before T, that means forward. Next, R is just before U. Okay. R is just before U. U is ahead of S with two people between them. Okay. U and S have two people between them and U is ahead of S. Okay. Who is standing at the last place in the queue? Okay. If we see this, you see here are at least four people and after S there is T. That means there are five people in the queue up till now, and again R is before you, so all six peoples would be done in this particular arrangement. So if we place it like R is the first person in queue, after R there is U, and then a gap of two persons, then S is sitting, and after S there is T. Also it is said Q and P. This is the Q comes between U and P, so only option for Q is to be placed here and then P here. So I hope this particular arrangement is clear and how I got the logic. So the person in the last place in the queue is definitely T. So option B is the correct option. I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the next question. So try to solve it by yourself first, then we will be solving it together. I hope you all have tried to solve it by yourselves. Let's see how the question should be done. A cube is made by folding the given sheet in the cube so formed, which letter or symbol will be on the opposite face to the face having the symbol %. Okay. So for these kinds of folded paper, one logic that I have told multiple times is that the alternate letters in or the alternate boxes in the in the same line would always be opposite, and adjacent boxes would always be adjacent in the cube also. So for this case also, these two boxes would be opposite to one another and these two boxes would be adjacent to one another. Also one thing I have said that this box and this box would be adjacent to each other and these two boxes would also be adjacent to each other. I hope up to this it is clear. So here they say which box would be opposite to %. So clearly the box A would be opposite to % because from the diagram only we can see it out or check it out. So option A is our correct answer. It was a pretty simple and very direct question. If you know the logic how to do this or which boxes are opposite or which boxes are adjacent to one another in these kinds of diagram, so you can easily solve it. So let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from analogy. We need to find the analogy of the letters. You see B, C, K, F is analogous to W, U, E, O. Now if we write the numbers or the position of the letters, so B is 2, C is 3, K is 11 and F is 6 and W 23, this is 21, 5 and 15. Okay. So 25, this is 24, not possible. This is 26. No. So one thing that we can think of is, so if you know the opposite for B is Y, which is at position 25. The opposite for C is at 24. The opposite of K is at 16 and the opposite of F is at 21. Now you see, if we subtract 2 from 25, we get 23, which is equal to the letter given here. 24 minus 3 is 21 and that is given here. 16 minus 11 is 5 and that is given here, and 21 minus 6 is 15. So 15 is given here. So that means from the position of the opposite letter for the given letter, we are subtracting the position of the given letter. I hope that logic is clear. Now, if we go for finding the analogous term for KMGJ, we have to first write the positions. K is 11, M is 13, G is 7, and J is 10. So as K is already given, we can take this reference. K would be E. So our starting would be with E. So these two values would be cancelled out. Next, the only difference is coming at the third position. So we would be directly checking the third position without the need for the second and fourth position, because that would be of no use. So if we get directly the third position, that would give us the answer. So no need to waste time in finding the other things. So the opposite to G is T at position 20, and 20 minus 7 would be 13, which is N. So M would be at the third position. Yes, option C is our correct option. EAMG would be the right answer for this question. I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from the number series. So let's see the series. The series is 5, 7, 10, 36, dash and 690. So from the question itself, it is clear that there's a there's definitely some kind of multiplication going on. Okay. So what would be the logic here? So one logic you can think of is that the first, from 5 to 7, this can be 5 into 1 plus 2. From 7 to 10, this can be written as 7 into 2, 14 minus 4. This is equal to 7. This is equal to 10. For the next, you can think of it as 10 into 3, 10 into 3 plus 6. So that is equal to 36. And after that, the sequence should be like 36 into 4 minus 8. And after that, what would be the answer from this? Let's calculate. 36 into 4, 6 fours are 24, 2 in hand, 4 threes are 12 to 14, 144. This is minus, not plus. Minus 8, that is equal to 136. So the next term should be 136 into 5 plus 10. If that becomes equal to 690, that means our logic is correct. So 136, 6 5s are 30, 6 3s are 5 3s are 15, 15 3, 18 8, 5 1 6, 680 plus 10, that is equal to 690. So that is correct. So our logic was correct, and hence the final answer for our question would be 136. So our option A is the correct option. I hope that is clear. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so we are done with all the questions today. I hope the session was useful for your revision, and we'll be making up more videos on the Cognizant hiring drive that is going on currently. And I request all of you to subscribe the channel and stay tuned for any update that is coming into the channel. And please hit that like button if you like the content, share it with your friends. And if you have any doubt or any suggestion for us, please comment it down in the comment section. Your comments are precious for us and would be very much taken care of in further approaches or further videos that we bring up. I hope that was clear, and we'll be meeting you soon in any such video very soon. Till then, take care. Tata. Bye bye.